Let's play a game. Imagine I put a single black dot on a piece of paper. That dot represents 1 week of your life. Now imagine I fill this entire page with dots, row after row. If you live to be 80 years old, you will have exactly 4,000 of these dots. 4,000 weeks. That is it. It's not a lot, is it? You can fit 4,000 dots on a single sheet of A4 paper. If you are currently 35, you have already burned through 1,800 of them. If you are 45, you have burned 2,300. And if you are 60, you are down to your last 1,000. Most of us live our lives as if the supply of time is infinite. We say things like, "I'll do that when things calm down," or "I'm just killing time." But as the philosopher Seneca wrote 2,000 years ago, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. We are not running out of time because life is short. We are running out of time because we are climbing the wrong ladders. Today, we are going to stop managing time and start expanding it. We are going to look at the psychology of why your life feels like it's speeding up and use lessons from modern neuroscience and ancient philosophy to slow it back down. Act 1. The trap of efficiency. The first mistake we make is thinking that the solution to a short life is efficiency. We buy the planners, we download the apps, we read books on productivity like Atomic Habits or The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And don't get me wrong, these are fantastic tools. But if you use them with the wrong mindset, they become a trap. Oliver Burkeman, in his book 4,000 Weeks, calls this the efficiency trap. The trap works like this. You believe that if you just get organized enough, if you just work fast enough, you will finally clear the decks. You will finally get on top of everything, and then your real life can begin. But the decks never clear. In fact, the more efficient you become, the more work you attract. If you are the guy who answers emails instantly, people just send you more emails. We spend our days rushing through tasks, treating the present moment as something to be gotten through so we can get to the future. But the future never arrives. It's just more present moments that we rush through. This creates a state of constant, low-level anxiety. We feel like we are always behind. We feel guilty for resting. And suddenly, 10 years have passed, and all we have to show for it is a lot of completed to-do lists. So, what is the antidote? It starts with a concept from Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fee Cakey. The title sounds edgy, but the philosophy is profound. Since your dots are limited, you have a limited budget of things you can care about. You cannot be a great CEO, a perfect father, a marathon runner, a gourmet chef, and a political activist all at the same time. You have to choose what you are willing to be bad at. To spend your life wisely, you must become a master of strategic underachievement. You must look at that pile of expectations on your desk and say, "I am consciously deciding to fail at this, so I can succeed at that." Act 2. The blur, why time speeds up. Now let's talk about the speed. Have you noticed that summers lasted forever when you were a kid? A single afternoon felt like an entire odyssey. But now you blink and it's Christmas again. You blink and you're 40. There is a neurological reason for this. It is called the oddball effect. Your brain is an energy-saving machine. When you encounter something new, a new school, a new friend, a new skill, your brain goes into hyper-recording mode. It lays down dense, rich memories. Because there is so much data, when you look back, the time feels long. But when you are an adult, you drive the same commute, you sit at the same desk, you have the same conversations with the same people. Your brain says, "I've seen this before," and it stops recording. It goes into autopilot. This is the blur. Routine compresses time. So, how do we slow it down? We don't do it by moving faster. We do it by paying attention. In his book Flow, psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi describes a state of flow as complete immersion in an activity. When you are in flow, you aren't thinking about the past or the future. You are purely here. Cal Newport expands on this in Deep Work. He argues that a fragmented life, a life spent checking notifications every 6 minutes, is a shallow life. It leaves no trace in the memory. To slow down time, you need to inject novelty and depth back into your weeks. This doesn't mean you need to quit your job and travel the world. It can be small. Take a different route to work. Read a book on a topic you know nothing about. Put your phone in the other room and play with your kids for 30 minutes with zero interruptions. When you break the routine, you force your brain to start recording again. You add texture to your timeline. Act 3, the wrong ladder, meaning versus happiness. But even if you manage your time well, and even if you slow it down, what if you are spending it on the wrong things? This brings us to the most dangerous trap of all, the success paradox. We spend our prime years, those middle 2000 dots, chasing symbols of success. The promotion, the bigger house, the status. We think these things will fill the void. But often we get to the top of the ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Bronnie Ware was a palliative care nurse who spent years with people in the last 12 weeks of their lives. She wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. Do you know what wasn't on the list? I wish I had worked more. I wish I bought a better car. I wish I checked more emails. The number one regret was this. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. This is where Viktor Frankl comes in. In Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl argues that humans are not driven by a pursuit of happiness, but by a pursuit of meaning. Happiness is fleeting. It's a chemical spike. Meaning is endurance. It's what gets you through the suffering. If you feel empty, even though you are succeeding, it is likely because you are rich in success, but poor in meaning. You are trading your limited dots for approval rather than purpose. So how do you find meaning? Frankl says you don't invent it. You detect it. You look at your life and ask, what does this moment require of me? Sometimes the meaning isn't glamorous. Sometimes the meaning is simply, my family needs me to be present right now. Or, my team needs me to lead them through this crisis. When you align your time with your values, the empty feeling vanishes. The time might still pass quickly, but it passes well. Conclusion. The Memento Mori Challenge. We started this video with a dot, a single week. The Stoics had a practice called Memento Mori. It translates to, remember that you must die. This wasn't meant to be morbid. It was meant to be clarifying. It was a tool to strip away the noise. When you remember that your dots are running out, you stop tolerating things that don't matter. You stop holding grudges. You stop worrying about what strangers think of you on the internet. You stop waiting for the perfect time to start that project. Life is short, but as Seneca said, it is long enough if you live it. So here is my challenge to you for this week. Look at your calendar. Identify one thing, just one, that you are doing purely out of obligation, habit, or fear. Something that is not a hell yeah. And kill it. Cross it out. Take that dot back. Then take that reclaimed hour and use it to do something that scares you, or something that deepens a relationship you care about. Don't just let the time pass. Create the experience. Now that you know life is short, the biggest risk is filling your remaining time with busy work instead of meaningful work. If you want the practical system to stop being busy and start being effective, you need to watch this video next. It breaks down the 5 habits of peak performers that will help you ensure you aren't just climbing a ladder that is leaning against the wrong wall. Click right here to start clearing the deck. And don't forget to subscribe to join us as we rewire for a deeper life. I'll see you in the next one.